All right, there we go. All right, guys, welcome to another episode of Girl, Is That Legal? With your host, attorney Simone Redwine. So thank you guys for joining the chat. I want to make sure you guys can hear me. Let me know in the comments. Because my computer is doing some weird thing. It's like having issue processing. Here we go. Remove this, remove this. It is doing something weird. I don't see any comments, so let me know. There we go. So just tune into YouTube. Just make sure that I'm live. I actually can't see anything. All right, I see there's 23 people. Here we go. And that are in the chat. Can we hit that like button, please? And thank you. Great. It does it. Okay. Just making sure. I don't know why it's being weird. But again, I'm not in my usual location, as we know, due to old Hurricane Beryl. Trey. Yeah. So as you guys come in, oh, there we go. I'm seeing some comments now. I wasn't seeing them before. Let me know where you're viewing us from. We got a few things to talk about, y'all. There's a lot that's been going on. The YSL judge was removed as I predicted. All right, we got Cam. Oh, okay, let me see. Let me unplug my ear. Yeah. There we go. It's unmuted. Let me know if this is better. Let's see. What's the audio doing now? Default. Yeah, we're just going to use. So, Daddy, I don't have my headphones on. So, don't do nothing weird. There we go. All right. Can you hear me now? Happy Monday, guys. Watching from Pittsburgh. All right. Lightly Seasoned says, okay, good. Much better. Great. Thank you, guys. You're watching from Pittsburgh. I went to University of Pittsburgh for undergrads. I lived in Pittsburgh for 4 years. Have to say, Pittsburgh is one of the best college towns in America. Because who knew it was even really a college town? Like, I didn't know that before I went there, but I absolutely recommend it if you have a child where you're thinking about, oh, what's a good college town? I feel like it was the best of both worlds because it was a large enough city where it's easy to get on a plane to get home in case of an emergency. But Pittsburgh also had a lot of sporting events, and I went to a D1 school, so we always had something to do. Great. Watching from Metro Atlanta, Natural Nubian. Good. Okay, gossip in the garden. Oh, it looks like you got some tea, girl. You be having a tea. All right. Okay, guys, we're gonna go from here. All right, so let's go ahead and we're gonna start. Let's do the share. We're gonna start with YSL. Y'all know no. We're gonna work our way into YSL. That way we can get more people to join. Let's talk about y'all's former president. This man, I swear this man has like 9 lives. He don't deserve any of them, but he's got them. He don't deserve them at all, but he's got them. Here we go. So we're gonna cover this story. All right. So let's do this share here. This man, so mm-mm-mm. Here we go. Oh, not that one, not that one. Hold on. Hold on, we've got it. Oh, actually, let me do it. Here you go. I'm going to do it this way. Here we go. All right. So today in the Trump cases, because he has like 55 lives. So in the news, they've reported that Trump gets another victory. The victory here is that the Judge Eileen Cannon, a judge who he appointed, has just dismissed the case against him regarding his stealing of classified documents. Now, the premise of the case was that after he was no longer president, he was not supposed to take documents with him. He did. These are documents that literally could be sold to Russia, shared with any foreign opponents of America. These are highly classified documents that pertain to our strategies for how to deal with them at war, including, as you know, now we're dealing with the Ukraine and Russia, etc. So these documents are not just classified, they were highly classified. And Trump decided that but after losing the election, after being salty, that he wanted to take them home with him, take them to his house, take them down yonder, and house them in his golf course at his country club, where literally anyone could have access to them. Now, here's what's so important here. From the beginning, this judge has been siding with Trump on everything. Remember, she was Trump appointed. That means she's a new judge. It also means, as a federal judge, she is appointed for life. Even for this, we really cannot get rid of her unless it's something egregious. Even then, the steps to get rid of a federal judge are virtually insurmountable because it's got to be bipartisan, blah, blah, blah. So she knows she's good to go. And it really just seems like this was her way to show her allegiance and gratitude to Trump for appointing her. Furthermore, I'm going to read the article about this case, but what's important to note is how this correlates with the recent Supreme Court ruling that said that Trump is immune for all presidential acts. However, he could be seen liable for all personal acts. So here, potentially, if Trump were to say, oh, in my determination as the president at the time in which I was president, I made the judgment call that I'm going to take these documents with him, potentially he could be immune from any consequences whatsoever. So here's the ruling. Okay. So the article states, a judge on Monday dismissed the federal indictment against the former president on charges of mishandling classified documents. This was his second big legal victory in less than a month after a historic Supreme Court decision on immunity. The U.S. District Judge ruled that the special counsel Jack Smith was improperly. Daddy, it's okay. I love you. I'm at his house, y'all. So this is my daddy. When you don't pay no bills, you really can't make all the rules. I'll continue. All right. It says, the ruling says that special counsel Jack Smith was improperly appointed in order to prosecute Trump. And that even if it's eventually reversed, Smith's office, Jack Smith, office vowed to appeal the ruling, saying that the judge's legal reasoning was at odds with past decisions. Here's what's important to understand about special counsels. Special counsels are a great thing. They're appointed in instances where it appears that for various reasons, the U.S. Department of Justice cannot be objective. So, for example, during the Russia investigation about Trump, they appointed a special counsel versus someone who works in the office because that person is an employee of the U.S. Department of Justice, they could feel like they are being coerced into not bringing charges or anything like that by the president because of the fact that they're the president. So the gist of it is you always want to bring in a special counsel when it appears that the prosecutor that would otherwise be in that office for whatever reason could not be objective, or that there is potentially the appearance of unfairness. So an analogous example would also be in the Trayvon Martin case. In the Trayvon Martin case, which was a state court case in Florida, they kept asking the prosecutor, the district attorney for that county, to bring charges. For whatever reason, that district attorney didn't do it. So what happened was a special prosecutor was appointed. That meant someone who was not from that county who could come in and be objective, because by not being from that county, they didn't have to deal with the potential unfairness or improper influences of having to make that decision. So it says, continuing, it says, it came less than 48 hours after Trump survived an attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania, and as Trump was preparing to be formally nominated as the Republican candidate. Defense attorneys often file every possible motion to dismiss an indictment, but it's rare for them to actually succeed and result in cases being tossed. In the Florida case, Trump's lawyer attempted a long shot argument after long shot argument, so he did it over and over again before a gambit of other arguments, and succeeded, which in this success was far beyond expectations. It says, by dismissing the entire indictment, Cannon's decision also means that the charges are dropped for Trump's the two other defendants that were being charged with him. The Justice Department will appeal. Here's what happens when they appeal. When they appeal, it goes to what's called the circuit court. Problem is, Trump appoints some of those people too. Now, for Florida, I'm not sure how many of those Trump has appointed, but the appellate court is going to review the lower judge's ruling to determine if it was fair. But from the beginning, that judge was clearly siding with Trump and felt that this was a frivolous case. It was really clear that she was going to do whatever it took to make sure that this case never saw the light of day. So the hope, and I don't know whether the state, it wouldn't be the state, it would be the Department of the prosecutor's office, U.S. Attorney's Office. I don't know whether they filed a motion for her to recuse, but it seems like if this gets knocked back down, they should do that and have it sent or have it reviewed by a different judge. Because this lady ain't no way. But interestingly, because of the fact that on the federal level, every single federal court judge is appointed for life, if you want that judge to be recused, it's not good enough to simply say the basis of recusal is you were appointed by the president. You have to be able to show more. Here, it seems clear that there should be able to show bias because of her rulings. So, in addition, the article states the dismissal of the case deviates from the uniform conclusion of all previous courts to have considered the issue that the attorney general is statutorily authorized to appoint a special counsel. Literally, that's the job of the attorney general. So if an attorney general, which here is Merrick Garland, if he can't appoint a special counsel in a case that involves a former US president that is running for reelection, meaning if this case continues, part of the reason you need a special counsel is if it continues, then whoever, basically the person that would be over the case also is under the president who's the defendant. You can't have that. That would be a conflict of interest. Duh, you stupid fool. I'm gonna look her up. I have a feeling she's an idiot. Let me just look her up right now because I'm already pissed. Eileen Cannon, let me see where she went to school. I bet she went to some. Let me see. Eileen Cannon, education. Her mommy and daddy probably paid her to get into. She is a Colombian-born American lawyer. Blah, 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 blah. Here goes her Wikipedia. Let me see. No, 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 no. She was nominated in 2020. Oh gosh. She worked for the law firm of Gibson and Dunn from '09 to 2012. Blah, blah, blah. And was a federal prosecutor. Gibson and Dunn is like a super, super conservative. Okay, she went to Duke and Michigan. Okay, at least she wasn't like a bottom of the barrel lawyer. She went to decent schools because sometimes he would just pick like his homeboys' kids and they would be like halfway, like all the way slow. Well, let me see these comments. Just add this to the list of crazy when it comes to him. They planned it perfect. So it's still biased. It's absolutely biased. Oh, yes, I do need moderators. Thank you. If anyone is open, yes, Cam, I would love for you to be a moderator. Could you please there we go. Could you please DM me on Instagram if you have that, or shoot me an email to records, plural, at redwinelaw.com if you're able or interested in being a moderator. Thank you. All right. So continuing with Miss Thing, the article further says the former president was yes. Here we go. Here we go. The charges here. After Cannon's decision, one person who has been told that they could be called as a witness in the documents case described Trump, quote, as the luckiest man on earth. The person spoke on the condition of anonymity to describe candid feelings about the development. Trump advisors have long considered the classified documents case to be the strongest of the 4 criminal cases against him, in part because the acts in question occurred mostly after he left the White House. And it was the case that was the one that most worried Trump. The case has been particularly concerning to those advisors because if it went to trial, it would feature first-person accounts from people in his inner orbit describing conversations with him. And we all know this man is slow. It states that the former president was charged with 40 counts of illegally retaining classified defense information and obstructing government efforts to retrieve the material. Literally, the government asked this man more than 4 times to give back the stuff they knew he stole. So the question becomes, why didn't you? What is it? Because remember, Russia helped him get elected the first time. That is not in any way in dispute. Russia has even implied and insinuated that. So Russia helped him by creating interference, by creating fake articles, a variety of things, even removing people from the voter rolls. Yes, that happened. Because think about it. They weren't changing a vote for Biden to a vote for Trump or a vote from Hillary Clinton to a vote for Trump. No, that's too simple. Instead, what they would do is when people, especially brown people or people in communities that were disproportionately known to be Democratic, would go to polling centers to vote, their names just wouldn't be there. And so they get ready to cast their vote and cancel. Those are the two ways that Trump will win the presidency is if you don't show up to vote or vote for him. Okay, further. Upon careful study of the, okay, here we go. So the former president was charged with 40 counts of illegally retaining classified documents and information, obstructing efforts to retrieve the material. Some of the documents that were found in an FBI search of Mar-a-Lago, his Florida home and private country club, contained information about top secret U.S. operations that were so closely guarded that many senior national security officers are kept in the dark about them. Even they don't know about them, the Washington Post later revealed. So this Judge Cannon's opinion delves into the legal minutia of special counsel regulations and does not address the actual crime. So basically, what she did was find a technicality to allow him to not be charged, basically to get these charges dismissed. And then what's going to happen is Trump's goal is to just not be found guilty prior to the election or inauguration, but definitely prior to the election. And so with things like this happening, it's going to push the trial for this far past the election. And so for him, that's why this is such a huge victory. I'm going to remove this from the stage because it's pissed me off. We're going to move on to our next little story. Let's see. Hold on. Let me see these comments. That's it. Just add this to the list. Move that. All right, here we go. Next up is this story. This one, hold on, really ticked me off today. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. All right, so I went swimming earlier today. Here we go. I went swimming earlier today, and it made me think of this story. So if you haven't heard about this story, a 4-month-old baby girl dies after boating in Lake Havasu on a 120-degree day, and now finally an investigation is launched. Specifically, let me see if they have the photos of her parents. So her cute little parents decided to take their boat out for the day. And these parents, okay, they don't have the picture of them right here. Let me see if I got them. I want this picture of them because it really it pisses me off how much fun that they were having while their child is baking in the sun. Here we go. Here we are. I'm gonna share this one. Here's the share. There we are. Look at this cute little family. Look at them. Look at that. So this cute little family, dad, mom, and child, here's the cutie patootie, the little 4-month-old. These parents decide to go swimming on the lake in 120-degree weather with themselves and their older child. I think that child is like 3 to 4. They all hop in the water and leave the baby in a bouncer. They leave the baby in a bouncer on the boat, swim for about an hour. When they're done, they come back. Oh, she's non-responsive. You think? If this were a dog and this were a car, someone would have busted the windows out and the cops would have been called on that dog way before then. They come, they get back on the boat, baby's in the bouncer. She's got heat exhaustion. They said that blood was pouring from baby girl's ears and she passes. She's not with us anymore. So somebody said, do people take 4-month-olds on boats? Asking the parents. That's my first question. But also, let's think about what a 4-month-old can and cannot do. Well, I just fed my nephew, who's 11 months old, and he can sort of hold a bottle to his mouth. A 4-month-old cannot. A 4-month-old cannot even drink water. And you think it's a good idea to leave them unattended in the water while you're cooling off? Let's just think about this, guys. Why do you hop in the water when it's 120 degrees? Why do you hop in the water? You hop in the water because it's hot, because it's too hot to comfortably sit on that boat for 60 minutes. So if you didn't want to sit on the boat for an hour baking in the 120-degree sun, why would you think to leave a baby in there? And then what really got me is, why weren't charges immediately filed? It's been, let me see how many days it's been. It's been about 2 weeks since this has happened. Yes, so this is why I say they baked their baby the boat. So it's been about 2 weeks since this has happened. And I had made a comment. This was posted actually on the Instagram for the Daily Mail. And I said, if this couple was poor, they would have been locked up. Someone says, how do you know they're not poor? I'm like, because they got a boat. Poor people don't own boats, and poor people can't afford to rent a boat. Well, come to find out, it's even more than just that. Because I do believe if they were a poor family, I believe if they were a brown family, they would have been locked up. But what's more, the father is a cop. Hmm, convenient. The father is a police officer. So it's no wonder. Police do not like arresting other officers, to the point of, remember, and this is why I did this in order. Remember how the prior case we just covered on Trump talked about appointing a special counsel? One of the reasons you need a special counsel in certain cases is stuff just like this, where the DA cannot be objective. Because here's the thing, this guy is not just a cop, he is a detective. So when the district attorney's office needs to prove up one of their cases, who do they call to take the stand? Him. And other detectives just like him. So I always say, when you're looking at the facts and they don't make sense, it's for one of two reasons. Either you don't have all the facts or somebody's lying. Here, initially, I didn't have all the facts, right? When I said, oh, if they were poor, and I stand by that. If they were poor, they would have been locked up. But also, if this man wasn't a detective, oh, baby, ain't no way. How is this any different? How is this any different than baking your kid in a car? Because I've seen cars that had lower temperatures than this boat did. Let me get the exact, like, approximate dates. Hold on, let's see the dates. The investigation is now ongoing. Oops, I'll go back to it. Let's see if I can go back to it. Yeah, it says the cause of death is, oh, this happened on July 5th. Okay. The family had taken to the water on July 5th. Out of here. And although the baby's cause of not being with us anymore has not yet been released, officials believe it was related to a heat-related illness. She was taken to medical center before she was airlifted to Children's Hospital, where she passed. Her mom told the Daily Mail she has no idea what caused the baby's death. It was just a regular happy day as a family. If you are too stupid to know that baking your kid on a boat for 45 minutes to an hour at 120 degrees would cause this, you don't need no more kids. And the one that you have needs to be taken away till you get you some sense. The mama said, oh, dang, it did again. The mom said, the mother says, I will never understand why you had to leave us. You were too perfect. I love you endlessly, and I will look for you everywhere, Angel. Now, I do believe that the mom is clueless in retrospect. And here's another picture. I believe that they're sad, and I do not believe that this was intentional. But the law does not reward stupid. And these two were just that. That's why it's called negligent unaliving. Because negligence means you should have known better. You did know better, and you dismissed what a reasonable person would have done. You did not behave as a reasonable parent in 120-degree weather. Now, we need to compare this one. Let's see, hold on. We need to compare it to this here. This story broke my heart. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, guys, if you hadn't already. Thank you so much. I'm trying to get up to 22,000 subscribers. I'm about 100 away from them. Um, Someone said that child did not have a chance in the sun, calling BS on all of it. And he couldn't detect that it was too hot for the baby to be out. Exactly. If you think about the fact that, hey, why did you guys hop in the water? Because it was too uncomfortable to be sitting on the boat. And why didn't you bring the baby with you? Probably because they were drinking. That's what we need to know. We need to know, was there a cooler on that boat? How much was left in the cooler at the end? How much was initially in there? Check these people's bank statements. Chances are they went, they bought beers, they bought different things to drink. They were cooling and kicking it on their boat in the water and got too tipsy and were negligent. And that's why there's a different charge for negligence than there is intentional. But you need ramifications. All right, so now we're going to compare it to this one. So here we go. Now, this one was about 3 weeks ago, just last month. A mother who is an Amazon employee is now charged after her 8-year-old passes away in a hot car. Here's what's messed up about this one. The mother here is charged with involuntary da 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 da. I believe, and I want to see your responses in the comments. Do you think both sets of parents should be charged for this? Or do you believe that one is likely more responsible than the other? Involuntary means they didn't do it on purpose. They were just so negligent or grossly negligent that they did not behave as a reasonable parent in the situation. This poor mother was an Amazon employee. She had no caregiver and there was no daycare for whatever reason. There was no daycare available to her on that particular day. So she brings her 8-year-old to work with her, but leaves her in the car with the air conditioner on. It appears baby girl got too cold while sitting in the car, and the mom would periodically come out and check on her. The mother was also texting baby girl to see, hey, how are you doing? Are you okay? Did it? She go back and forth with the mom on text. And then the mom was realizing she wasn't responding. Apparently, baby girl got too cold. So she turned the car off. She couldn't figure out how to turn it back on. The car got superheated and she passed in the Amazon parking lot while her mom is at work. Mother here is charged with this. I do not believe that the appropriate charge here is involuntary M. I'm going to say it that way because of the way that YouTube monitors these. I think she should be charged either with nothing or perhaps a form of child endangerment by leaving her in a parked car. Because hypothetically, the child could have been kidnapped, or I don't even know if I can say that on YouTube, or something like that. But like many times I can think about being in a car, being cold, right? And you're going to close the vents, you're going to do those different things. But that just goes to show that the mom tried to take every precaution that she could. It makes me think of the single mother that I knew of back when I was taking the bar. This mother had taken the bar. She had gone to law school. She was a single mom. She had taken the bar previously and failed. She was taking it again. Her baby daddy, who was a Jack was supposed to have taken her child. He got mad at her like the night before. The morning she goes to drop the child off so she can take the bar exam that morning at 9. He don't take the kid. He don't answer the door. So she had to make the call of, okay. And the child at the time was like 3 or 4. I can't bring this child. Like, where's my child going to be? I can't leave him in the car. Part of me was like, girl, you might have had to put that child in the lobby and give her a color book. But no, then you would get an endangerment charge and you'd never be able to use your license, right? But so I think of that when I think of these situations where these moms are stuck in these situations. I also think about how difficult this must have been, because this says it appears that whatever the father was doing, she felt she didn't have another option for daycare. Either way, what I'm saying is these two cases show just how unfair the system can be. Was race involved? That's up for you to decide. But I know for a fact, the fact that dad in the other case was a cop has saved his butt. And I think that we all need to ensure that, like, if you're a letter writer, if you like calling and things like this, let me get the county. The county Well, it was Lake Havasu, so it's Mojave County. Yeah, Mojave County Attorney's Office apparently is now it's under investigation and they are trying to review and determine prosecution. Hey, these two people need to be prosecuted equally. I actually think this mother, the Amazon mother, oh, and Amazon had the nerve to say, oh, we're aware of it and we are participating with authorities. Really? Amazon, all that money you have, y'all need to consider having daycares on your premises. Why not? You can have daycares on your premises. Maybe you're going to subsidize it. Maybe you're going to offer it at market rate. But as many employees as you guys have, why not give that some thought? But at the end of the day, this is what happens when we also have people in office that haven't increased minimum wage in 20 years. This is what we get. All right, so we got this too. And next up, we're going to change topics. We're going to talk about chow. We're going to talk about this YSL case. So just as anticipated, the Judge Glanville in the YSL case has been removed. He's been removed by a Superior Court judge, Rachel Cross. Now, this judge was put in place because obviously, for common sense reasons, a judge who's been a judge, when you file a motion for recusal, that same judge should not be able to overhear his recusal motion. However, under the law, they can, and it's very dumb. So, what initially happened is you file a recusal motion and it's filed with that judge, which basically asks him, hey, remove yourself. Some good judges will do it because they are not egotistical and they'll say, hey, fine, I'll step back to ensure there's justice. Because what happens is if a judge should remove themselves or should be removed and isn't, that even if you get that guilty verdict, it gets overturned on appeal and you got to start all over. So here's what it says. According to TMZ, on Monday, Georgia Superior Court Judge Rachel Krause granted several motions filed by Young Thug and several of his co-defendants to remove Judge Earl Glanville after months of friction. It says, although Judge Krause said that there was no doubt that Judge Glanville could preside fairly over the trial, the court nevertheless ordered the clerk's office to reassign the trial to another judge to, quote, preserve the public's confidence in the judicial system. See, this is just the beginning of shoes to drop. This same phrase, in order to preserve the judge's confidence in the judicial system, that's the same language that's used when you penalize a judge for misbehavior. With Judge Christina Peterson, that's what was used. They said that her conduct, it diminished the public's confidence in the system. And I believe Glanville, this ain't going to be it for him. He's also going to get punished by the judiciary, and they're probably going to use the same language. They're going to say, you're getting punished because you having that secret meeting. So ex parte meeting is a secret meeting. Period, poo. So when you're trying to understand it, if anyone's asking, what's the ex parte meeting? It's a secret meeting. It's a meeting that everybody isn't invited to, even though they should be. That's the best way to understand it. So here, he had the secret meeting. He got upset that the people who should have known and been invited to the meeting found out about it and then tried to penalize their lawyers. That's why he's in trouble. And then it says here, she was removed because of public confidence. Now, the way that the Judge Krause says, oh, there's no doubt that he could preside fairly over the trial. Here's the thing. She had to say that. I told you guys before, what I thought is either they were going to remove him or there was a chance that before the ruling came out saying that he had to be removed, they might alert him and give him the chance to voluntarily recuse himself simply to save face. So it looks like that didn't happen. But as I predicted, he did get removed. Now, here we go. And there were numerous issues. And now it says, and it also states Young Thug's attorney, Brian Steele, confronted Judge Glanville in court over the ex parte meeting, the secret meeting that he held with the prosecutors and YSL Woody. Steele claimed it was improperly done behind his back and unfair to his clients. Co-defendants Diamante Kendrick's attorney, Doug Weinstein, applauded the ruling, saying, quote, while we continue to respect Chief Judge Glanville, remember, he's the chief judge over all of the judges in the criminal courts in that county, in Fulton County. He states, we agree with Judge Krause. The Judge Glanville's actions at least give the appearance of impropriety, meaning unfairness. And we also maintain that Chief Glanville was biased against Mr. Kendrick and the other defendants in this case. We look forward to trying the case before an unbiased judge to a just conclusion that will free Mr. Kendrick. Here we go. But also, I want to make sure you guys see and we cover this part. Now, part of the big issue is that YSL Woody, he takes the stand, pleads the fifth on the stand in front of the jury. Now, Young Thug's, that teed off Young Thug's attorney so badly that his attorney said, wait a minute, we need a mistrial. And here's why. Because according to Young Thug's attorney, the prosecution knew that Little Woody was going to ask to plead the fifth in front of the jury. And as a result, they were asking for a mistrial. That's because you should never, ever, a judge should never let somebody plead the fifth in front of a jury. The reason why is because juries assume that when somebody pleads the fifth in front of you, like in front of them, they assume it's because they have something to hide. And it is assumed that something negative is going on, basically. So for example, any defendant, so a lot of people, part of the reason why I tell anyone involved in a criminal case is don't you ever go into a police office or without an attorney. I had multiple clients that did so. And every time that I asked, I said, why did you talk to them without a lawyer there? Every time they say, oh, I felt like I was going to look guilty if I didn't talk to them. We don't give a flying fart. And here's why. Many people don't realize if you walk into the police interrogation room and you say, I want my lawyer, none of that can be used in court. The fact that you ask for your lawyer cannot even be played in front of a jury. Nothing. Due to the fact that that's your constitutional right. And if a jury is going to seize that, if a jury sees you say, I want my lawyer, there's a likelihood that the jury will assume you're asking for a lawyer because you did something wrong. So the law says, as a result, you can't even inform the jury that somebody asked for your lawyer. That's why, and that's not the same as pleading the fifth. Pleading the fifth as well cannot be done in front of a jury because it implies that someone is guilty, even though they are simply exercising their constitutional right. So think of it this way. If it's a constitutional right that you have, you get to exercise that in front of the judge, not the jury, because juries are stupid and juries will get confused. Pleading the fifth, yes, pleading the fifth can and always is done privately, every single time. So what happens is before the jury comes back in, the judge actually will ask the attorneys for the defendant, is the defendant going to take the stand? And they say yes or no. If they say no, Your Honor, my client's going to plead the fifth, jury don't hear that because they're not even in a courtroom. They legally cannot be in a courtroom. If they are in the courtroom when the defendant pleads the fifth, it is a mistrial. That's how important pleading the fifth is. Let me see. Someone talks about the other. Yeah, the detective definitely knew better. I'm reading the comments. So let me know if y'all have any further questions on that or on the YSL trial. If not, I'm about to wrap it up because my mama's about to make dinner and I'm hungry. Or I guess I'm gonna make dinner. I think I'm gonna make dinner. Oh, wait. But I need to show y'all the judge. Y'all, here go the new judge. She's cute. Cam said TV shows don't show that. No, you're absolutely right. They don't. Ooh. Hold on, y'all don't need to see my stuff. Hold on one second. I want to show you the picture of the judge. Let's see. Let's come back. Oh, no, that's Salt and Pepper, girl. Salt and Pepper got kicked off a flight. We'll deal with that a little bit later. Here we go. And let's do. Let me share it one more time so you can see this new judge. Here we go. All right, here she is. Here she, look how cute she is, y'all. This is Judge Shakura Ingram. Shakura. I don't know what I'm saying. Judge Ingram. Doesn't she look like Rudy from the Cosby Show a little bit? But yes, this is the new judge. She's going to be taking over the rest of the case. But I want to tell you, it ain't over. It ain't over. The fat lady is not yet sung due to the fact that even though he's been removed, many as in the attorneys for the defendants, feel that what Judge Glanville did, they don't know how biased he is. They don't know to what extent his biases have impacted the trial as a whole. So they are still going to be moving for a mistrial and appealing everything if their defendants are found guilty in the end. So this whole case is a whole big old mess. Yep. I be the shit. This is yep, she is a female judge. She's been presiding for quite a while. And also remember, in Fulton County, those judges are elected. They're elected for 4-year terms. So we will see from there. So thank you guys for joining me again. Drop down in the comments what other topics you want me to cover this week. So good to see you guys and have a good one. Hit that like, hit that subscribe when you're on your way out.